Today, we're going to talk about GLP-1s, but not in the way that the industry typically talks about them. Because right now, most clinics are treating GLP-1s like a product, and the highest performing clinics are building a system. And that difference alone determines whether a GLP-1 becomes either a chaotic medication refill service or a 30 to 80 plus per month retention engine and revenue engine. Today is about building the second one. The industry believes that GLP-1 success comes from demand. It doesn't. Demand brings the patients in, but the structure is what keeps them. Most programs fail for the same reason wellness programs fail. Not lack of patience, not lack of design, but it's why we built our wellness profitability blueprint. So today we're going to build a system where patients stay longer, they buy more, staff is selling less, and the marketing pressure decreases. And with all of that, the revenue becomes predictable. What most clinics accidentally build is a prescription service. Patients come in, they get their medication, they leave. Sometimes they do labs, sometimes they don't, but they leave and they text or call for refills, and then they disappear for another 3 months. The clinics then conclude, okay, GLP-1 patients aren't here for anything else. No. Patients don't stay inside programs that don't have a journey. The moment that a GLP-1 becomes just a weight loss service, you inherit weight loss churn. But when it's positioned as metabolic regulation, energy, longevity, your retention will rise dramatically. We're not selling weight loss. We're selling the transformation, both emotionally and physically. So I'm going to tell you guys about a clinic that I've been working with for a long time. And this is where most clinics get trapped. It's a smaller clinic, a very normal practice. They hired a wellness and GLP-1 provider. Within a month, that program exploded. We're doing 50 plus K a month in additional revenue. The owner was so happy, so thrilled. This provider was, performing, so they thought. And most people would think, all right, perfect. We're just going to hire another provider and we're going to double it. But they couldn't. They weren't capped by demand. They were capped by the structure. That provider was manually managing everything, answering refill messages, deciding on follow-ups, educating patients, selling add-ons, tracking their labs, making sure they were ordered correctly, handling all of the side effects. And that revenue only existed as long as that one human could keep up. The owner literally told me, we cannot expand because everything will break. Only Susie knows how to do this or communicate with the clients on the wellness side. So we didn't hire first. What we did is we turned around and built a system. We mapped out what the patient journey was from start to finish. We standardized visits. We created education checkpoints. We defined what add-ons were. We defined what our bridge treatments were. And we moved decisions into a process. Now, this provider stopped being the program and became a part of the program, became a leader of the program. And that's when we decided to add on another provider. The department itself expanded safely. They had the same demand, the same size clinic, but now it was scalable. Now they could go in, and if somebody was on vacation or somebody was out sick or their child had something at school, the whole process did not break down. And someone else who was in that department can come in and be a part of that, and it can flow smoothly. This was what success looked like. Their systems built this department. So in the GLP-1 life cycle, every patient goes through essentially 4 phases, and retention really depends on whether your clinic recognizes them. Phase number 1 is usually excitement, fast results, high compliance, trust building, and most clinics will think that this is success. But what that actually is the onboarding process. Phase 2, you're in weeks 7 to 16. Your progress might get a little bit slower. Maybe their motivation drops a little bit. The side effects can start to appear as we increase our dose. And that's where most patients we see fall off. Phase 3 is really an identity shift. This is months 4 through 9. They stop dieting, their habits have stabilized, their trust has increased, and this is where your money is made. This follows into the maintenance phase, and it's no longer medication management. It's really a lifestyle ownership. And this is built through our memberships, and this is built through the rest of our bridge treatments. And when I talk about bridge treatments, I talk about these, what I call peanut butter and jelly treatments, the treatments that go together. If we are on a GLP-1, are we also talking about our collagen production? If we are seeing peptides because people are exhausted, what else are we adding in? Are we adding in IVs? Are we talking about muscle stimulation? There are so many ways that we can bridge the gap between wellness and aesthetics because they really do go hand in hand. So we had a patient and she was in her mid-40s, a high performer. She's tried everything. She dieted, she's done every diet, right? Low carb, macros, you name it, paleo, and everything had worked temporarily. She really never trusted her body. 1 month on a GLP-1, she felt incredible. She felt like she was on top of the world. At week 10, that progress slowed a bit. And she thought, oh my God, it's happening again. And it wasn't the weight regain that she was initially so concerned about, but she felt like she was losing control of the system and the process, and her body was not, adapting well. So most clinics would just increase the dose, right? Say, hey, okay, great. We're going to step you up to that next level. We've got it. This is how we do it. Instead, we changed the conversation and we explained the metabolic set point. We added muscle preservation and we mapped out the next 6 months. And her anxiety immediately disappeared. She stayed not because of the medication, but because the program was explained to her about what was happening and she was educated on what was happening with her body. Patients don't leave just because of lack of results. They leave because of lack of certainty. So as we build these programs and we make them profitable, our GLP-1 should never be sold as dosing, right? It should be sold in tiers. The first tier is that first time where you're regulating everything. It's your monthly visits, your nutrition guidance, the medication, and that's really the stability. And we're stabilizing your bodies. Tier number 2 is really where we're optimizing everything. Your body composition, your muscle preservations, your aesthetic tie-ins, the supplements. This is where you're seeing your revenue increase. And then the final tier is really the longevity. Are we talking hormones, peptides, performance tracking? Are we making quarterly plans for your weight loss in 10-pound increments? This is where the price comparisons stop. You are no longer selling a medication. You are managing their health. And profitability really comes from utilization and not volume. If every patient is automatically following month number 1, hydration and nutrition, month number 2, muscle preservation, month number 3, skin tightening, and month number 4, aesthetic refinement, this opens up the runway for teams to naturally build in and weave all different modalities that we have at our disposal. And you're not selling anything if it is truly the best recommendation for the client. This is no longer selling. You are prescribing. You are prescribing what is right for each client, whether it's a microneedling treatment because they're having laxity issues, or Sculptra, or an M-Sculpt, or something on the muscle stimulation side, any one of those devices. We're never asking the clients, do you want to add? We're talking to them about as their body changes, these are the phases that we guide patients through. Patients are looking for an expert and a guide. Once your retention system is in place, we can automate this. Week 1, are we calling them? Week 4, are we reviewing? At week 8, are we having a check-in where we're adapting and changing not only our dosing, but what our next steps are? And are we consistently planning and mapping out what our journey is going to look like? Patients leave when uncertainty begins, and structure removes the uncertainty. As always, we are tracking KPIs, but we are not tracking prescriptions. We want to talk about the length of the membership, the revenue per patient. What is our add-on utilization? What is our retention rate? Volume does not always equal profitability. So as we're scaling, we have our systems in place. Strong programs maintain about 150 active members producing predictable revenue. You do not need more leads. You do not need operational confidence at this rate. GLP-1s should become your lowest cost of acquisition per client. And this is so critical because we want to weave this into our memberships. We want to weave this into our beauty banks. We want to keep these clients as sticky as possible to us in the most healthy and productive way for the client. So you are removing the sales aspect and really prescribing them what overall, overarching our wellness blueprint is. So at this point, you're probably recognizing one of two things. Either your GLP-1 program feels chaotic, or you haven't launched it because you're afraid it will become chaotic. Both are design problems. Clinics launch wellness like a service, but wellness is really a department unto itself. And departments can only scale when they're intentionally built. So because we keep rebuilding this for clients, we keep creating full implementation framework, what we've built is our wellness blueprint program. And it's a step-by-step system where we use to launch and expand wellness programs so they generate recurring revenue without overwhelming the staff. Inside it, we implement the patient journey, their visit cadence, staff workflows, education scripting, add-on pathways, capacity planning. These are all so critical to your systems because what we're seeing is that it's typically one provider who knows everything, and that's their passion project. But if that person is out, then that whole program is disappearing. Or only one person and the front desk know, where is this spreadsheet? Where can I find this in my EMR? What injections did this person get? Were they vitamin injections from last week or the month before? And nothing is documented properly. And only one person knows the answers to the test. From here, what we're really doing is we're building protocols, we're building systems so that then everyone in your clinic, all of your providers are educated on this and can step in, can be a part of this department and really build it so that it is fluid for all of your clients. We also want to make sure that our estheticians, our front desk, our injectors, they know as much about this program to be dangerous to identify when you are seeing clients that will need something. You have a client in your chair and they're saying, oh my God, I'm exhausted. I just can't, I have to get ready for this wedding. I misplaced my phone. These are all triggers that your team needs to be able to identify. And how do we bridge, again, the gap between two different departments? We're using that with our technology, with all the tools in our tool belt. And we really are maximizing the profitability of incorporating a wellness program into our clinics. So instead of guessing how to do this and doing it on the fly and saying, oh, Susie knows how to do it, or we'll figure that out, or instead of doing that, we're really going to build this in the correct order. And if you're realizing that you have patience, but not a system, the next step is not more marketing, it's clarity for your team. And once we get that clarity and once we get that stabilization, and we're really strategic about what we're doing internally, that's when we turn on our marketing lever. And that's when we pull that lever and we are starting to bring in more people from outside from marketing into our clinics for this. So I wanted to open up a little bit for some questions, right? We want to build a plan. We want to build a program. GLP-1s will bring patients into the industry. But the clinics that will be the ones with the patients stay with are the ones with the plan and the structure. Because the opportunity isn't medication revenue. It's really becoming the place where they trust with their long-term health and aesthetic goals. All right, so let's open this up to some questions. What if my provider doesn't have time to manage all this? We're already busy, and won't this create more work? Okay. So that's exactly the exact same reason that most GLP-1 programs fail. Clinics think they need more provider time, but scalable programs require less provider decision making. And right now, what you're seeing if you're doing this is that your providers are doing 4 jobs. They're educating, troubleshooting, selling, doing all the follow-ups, and none of these should have to depend solely on the provider. We want to have the moment your provider has to remember the next patient, and you're creating a capacity ceiling. So we need to create that structure. The education is scheduled, the follow-ups, the add-ons, and predefined visits. Your staff can handle 70% of this communication. And when the clinic that I mentioned earlier was talking about adding on another provider, and it's not because they've just hired more help, it's because they really removed the improvisation. And the GLP-1 can become exhausting when it lives in somebody's brain. Any program would be exhausting living in somebody's brain. So when it becomes scalable, it lives in a process. All right, let's see. Any other questions? Okay. We're interested in wellness, but what if we launch it and patients don't commit to our membership? Okay, this is a good question. This almost never comes down to pricing. It comes down to positioning. So patients won't commit to paying monthly for medication, but they will commit to paying monthly for your guidance, your expertise. So when clinics sell GLP-1s as weight loss, patients will start to compare cost. When clinics present it as metabolic care and a mapped future, patients will stay. The membership is not the product. Predictability is the product. And when patients are solving an uncertainty, they want to know what happens after the weight loss. Will I gain it back? Do I stay on this forever? And so if your program answers those questions, your membership unlocks the rest of your cachet in your library, then it is a security and it's not a subscription. So when memberships don't convert, it's rarely because of the demand. And it's the clinic that accidentally offered access instead of oversight. So once you change that, it's going to rise naturally. Let's see. Okay, this is a great one. How do I find a good compounding pharmacy in my area that is reputable? Okay. There are so many compounding pharmacies out there. It is overwhelming. It is exhausting. You do not know where to start. Who has the best price? That's what we're here for. We have worked with them all. We know them inside and out, and we can absolutely help you to find the right one for you and the right set of peptides that you understand that we can build into a program and that can be done very, very well at a very good cost. And so we are here for you. And this is all built into our program. And I mean, they're one half a dozen of the other, but there are some that are better and worse. And so this is why we're here. All right, let's say hello to some of our IG people. All right, we have Barry and Tiffany, Brittany, Shane, Yovan. How are you, Yovan? Oh my God, there's so many people here. I love it. Is the GLP-1 pill just as good as the injections, in my opinion? So there are so many options out there, right? We know this. And what I want to do is each person's body is different and each person will react to something. So sometimes you do have to try one and then try another. If anybody here is a skier, you don't just go to the store and slap on a pair of ski boots and buy the first pair of skis you see. Sometimes they work for you, sometimes they don't. So that's where your providers are there with their expert opinion. In my opinion, the pill is just as good. It's a little bit more cumbersome because you have to take it every day, and that's a little bit more patient specific, but they are very good. Let's see, I saw another question in here. How are y'all dealing with the FDA regulations that prevent the sale of compounded GLP-1s? Great question. This is forever changing. This is forever evolving. We work with a lot of clinics in this same exact predicament, and there are very safe, regulated compounding pharmacies that are far superior to others. And we can absolutely help you work through this. Okay, we switched from semaglutide to Wegovy. It is killing us. The dosing on the pills is different. I have a few clients that love it. Okay, great. So again, like I said, everybody's body physically is different. And so some people are going to absolutely love that pill. Some people don't want the headache of taking it every single day. But there are programs, there are pharmacies that are better than others, and we can absolutely help you do that. Any last questions? So if you love this training, make sure you share this with your team or another med spa that could benefit from it. You can always catch the replay on our YouTube TV channel. And I want you to click, if you want our wellness profitability blueprint, I would love for you to comment wellness in the comments on IG, on YouTube, and we will absolutely get that in there. Throw that wellness in the chat and we will send that profitability blueprint over to you. We would love to work with any of your teams. And if you need to get access to more free trainings that we have, we love helping people grow their med spa and wellness practices. This is our passion. So visit our link tree. It's in our social bio, and make sure you join us live every Wednesday, 2:30 Central Time, same place. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn.